Hello! We are in a new space. I honestly didn't know what this lighting was gonna be like, but I feel like it turned out pretty well. I guess I gotta scoot back a little bit. We're not done furnishing our space, but we did move. I talked about this a little bit, I think, in my last video, maybe. Now I'm forgetting. Milo wants to say hello. Okay. Don't freak the... He does this weird thing. It's like, why is he going this way, you know? But I thought it would be nice to just sit down and do a little Q&A about it all, because I feel like we haven't just gotten to catch up in a while, and I just want to talk to you guys about all the things. So I went over to my Instagram and just asked you guys if you had any questions at all, and that's usually where I do these Q&As. So if you want to be a part of the next one, I'll have my Instagram linked down below. Bless you. Sneezy. I also realized I forgot to introduce myself. If you are new, hello, my name is Mallory. So excited to have you here and just to get to chat today. I feel like these are my favorite types of videos to watch, like vlogs, but also Q&As, and just get to know people better. I kept this Q&A open, so there's gonna be questions about wellness, about health, about recovery, about becoming an RD, about general things like why we moved. And I kind of just want to pick them at random and really see what you guys are asking. But let's just dive into it. Let's just get into it. Also, we're chasing light today, so it's probably be smart if I stop yammering and get going. You know what I'm saying? We got Milo here. He's just moving all over the place though today. Honestly though, let me know how you're doing too. How is your 2021 going? How is it starting? I feel like January was kind of a rough start, but I'm hoping that you guys are getting into the groove. I feel like February is when it finally hit me that it's actually 2021, but let me know how you've been feeling with it all. Also, Milo, you're gonna need to move, bubby. So something I want to address first is a question that I got a lot, is what is my current diagnosis? And I chatted about this briefly, but not in depth, and I don't wanna go too much into it, but essentially, I was having all of these health issues like chronic fatigue, muscle spasms, brain fog, as you can tell, and just in general, really not feeling like myself. And this has been going on for years and years and years overall. I've actually gone to tons of different doctors to try to get tests done and labs and all of these different things. And I haven't been able to find out anything, but I recently went to Parsley Health and figured out that what I have is chronic EBV as well as high mercury. So if you guys want me to make another video about this, yeah, the dog is literally sitting like this right now. Like, what is he doing? But if you want me to make another video about this, I definitely can. I just don't want to talk your ear off about it. But a lot of us have Epstein-Barr, which is what EBV stands for, but there are certain people that because of differing reasons, in my case it was mercury, it can go untraced or unnoticed by your immune system. And when it does that, you have the symptoms basically of mono forever. And mercury also has that. So currently I'm going through a healing protocol with different naturopathic and homeopathic options. I'd be happy to share more about this, again, if you guys are interested, but I did want to share it. This has partially been contributing to why I've been struggling to keep up with the same video days and all of these things. There are some moments where I feel really good, but there are some moments where I feel really, really, really bad. And in those moments, it's hard to sit at the camera and to film because I feel like I can barely talk sometimes. I know it sounds dramatic, but it's the truth. But I want to do the best I can because I love being a part of this community and talking with you guys. Got a lot of questions about weight gain, how to not skip meals if you're not exercising the same, stuff like that. So I would say the biggest thing with this is weight gain, and also like the underlying fear of why we feel like we can't change our routines or we have to exercise a certain amount or eat a certain way, all comes from a place of not being able to accept ourselves inside. And this is exactly what I work with my clients on, this holistic idea and approach as to why these things are coming up. And so what I would say with this is really look inside and find the reasons as to why this is happening and why you want to recover from this mentality. because we have to find the deeper reasons as to why we don't want to live that way anymore and just continually repeat them to ourselves. It's this inner acceptance of, I want to, bless you, I want to recover from the idea that I cannot have my body change because I know that this will help me to be a better practitioner, or I know this will help me to support my family better, or I know that when I have children one day, I don't want them to be afraid of weight gain, right? The way that we get through those hard moments is by really grounding into the reason why we want to get through them, because otherwise some of the other reasons can feel really trivial, like, oh, I don't want to have to think about food anymore, or oh, I don't want to have to worry about it. It's like, yeah, but why? Like, what is the big picture of why that is? And also, I would say having a professional to support you along that journey is really helpful, as well as doing things like getting rid of clothes that don't fit you and deleting old pictures that you use for comparison, all of that tangible stuff. A few questions about, do I like living in Austin? Yes. Oh my gosh, I love living in Austin. Right now, it is February 3rd, and it is literally 75 degrees outside. It's supposed to be 82 tomorrow, which is crazy. But I have to say, I just love the warmth. But past that too, I just love the environment here. I feel so at peace here. I feel like it's a mix of a lot of the places I love a lot, and like it gives me the sense of Colorado, except I do miss the mountains, while giving me a sense of like California, and also just all of these fun places. Plus there's just so many things to do. It's really up and coming. Everybody seems to be moving here now, but in the health and wellness field and what I do for work, and I feel like I get to connect with a lot of like-minded people. Everybody's so friendly here, and the restaurants are amazing. I could go on, but I love it. Also got a lot of questions about where to live in Austin and the best neighborhoods. I truly think it's so different for everybody. We originally lived in the thick of the east side. We live a little further out on the east side now, and that's where we really like to be because it fits in terms of the restaurants and the breweries and like all the things we like to do and the activity level. But other people really like the South Congress area, and other people like South Lamar area, and other people like Hyde Park. And I think it's more evaluating, maybe coming down here or talking to an agent. Like they have a lot of like smart city and different things that you can use to determine what fits your personal lifestyle best, and also the place that you want to get with your budget. So another person asked how to find a balance between healthy and unhealthy foods. Now this is kind of a loaded question. I could go on forever, but in simplistic terms, a lot of the time we think we are unbalanced because we have these ideas of what a healthy and unhealthy food looks like. And what we really want from food is more of neutrality, especially when we suffer from a disordered mindset, maybe around food, because our body truly does know how to tell us what foods make us feel our best and what don't. It's just that we have to listen to it and build trust with it. Now, this obviously looks different for someone in the depths of eating disorder, or maybe someone that hasn't been exposed to what healthy foods are, you know, but anyways, to keep with the point, I think the best way to do that is to have a wide variety of things in your diet and to listen to your body and trust that it will lead you down the right way when you have all different types of food. This is such an overview look at it. I would also say working with a professional to help you determine and distinguish what truly does feel best for your body, if it's hard, is really important. But overall, I'd say having the foods that nourish you while also having the foods that make you feel good, make your soul feel good. It's all about just finding the balance that works for you, which is different for everybody. I feel like this kind of ties into that, but how do you support someone that is dealing with an eating disorder? This is really, really tough, and it's honestly different for every single case and where they're at also in that process. But I would say that the best thing you can do is just to continue to show your support and your love, and also to not use terms that make them feel really invalidated and also kind of exacerbate their ED. A lot of those I would say is like, oh, why wouldn't you just eat more? Or, oh, just eat that. Or eating disorders are all about food, but that's just not true. It's really a very full picture of so many different things, and it usually comes from our mentality. And a lot of the time people with EDs, they do want to get out of it. They have this voice that tells them that, and that's hopefully in this circumstance why they're trying to recover. And it's all about building up that positive voice and helping them break down the negative one. And it's all about trying to speak to that part of them that is that positive voice and continue to build it up. Let's pop in an RD question, because you know I have to. For all my RDs out there, or my future RDs to be's, a few questions about the internship. So I have a whole video on this that I will link down below, but someone asked, how do you get through your DI? I am absolutely hating it and don't know what to do. Oh, girl, I feel that's so hard. I didn't hate my DI, but it is such a challenging time. It's unpaid for like 9 months, but you're working full time and you're doing some like grunt work jobs a lot of the time, and it just can be really tough. But what I always focus on during my RD is whenever there was a nugget of information or something I knew was gonna make me a better practitioner, I really held on to that, and I was like, this is gonna make me a better practitioner. Like, this is something I just have to do. I know that it will be better when I get through this. And during the times when I felt like it was something that truly was not helpful, like I was like, why do I have to do this? I would fall back and say, this is gonna make me a stronger person. I know that I'm gonna have a better and wider perspective when I get out of this. I know that I'm gonna be able to push through more things and challenging parts of my life. And I really do think the DI made me so much stronger. I can't even put it into words, even though it was such a hard time. And that's what I held on to. It does get better. Take in everything that you can in terms of looking at jobs in the future. And remember that every rotation is gonna be different. Don't let one make you think that all of them are gonna be that way. Keep holding out hope. And don't let any preceptor or person or other intern tell you differently. How do you deal with mental health slumps or high anxiety? Oh my gosh. First of all, I'm really feeling for anybody that is going through this right now. I think with 2020, that was one of the hardest years for so many people, just sitting at home with all of our thoughts and our family members, or without family members and by ourselves. And so I just want you to know I'm thinking of you and I'm here for you if you've been feeling these mental slumps and that high anxiety. For me, it's all about daily practices. I get these things where I go through really extreme periods of depression and anxiety, and they just feel so heightened and they feel so overwhelming. Like, how am I going to get through this? But what I always try to remember and to fall back on are in those times are like the things that I know make me feel good, right? It's like, for me, that's waking up and making sure that I get in my meditation, making sure that I get in some sort of movement, literally, even if that is a 5-minute walk, and that doesn't have to be every day, but just throughout the week. Also writing down my gratitudes, the things that I'm thankful for, and also being okay with those thoughts coming up and not beating myself up for it and continuing that cycle. That's really hard for me, feeling like I'm not being productive, but reminding myself that it's okay if those things happen and it's normal, but just doing what I can in my power to change that mindset. Even seeking out help from other people that you know make you feel good. That can do so much. I really didn't think that people were going to wonder so much about our move. I just really didn't think much of it, but I had a ton of questions about it in my DMs and in this. So if you guys are new to my channel, Brian and I moved to Austin in March. We actually moved into a new apartment when COVID hit because rates went down in our same apartment complex, and there was a unit that opened up that was much bigger and much easier to kind of like live and exist in, especially during COVID times, on our same floor. So we moved again there in June or maybe May. So basically we moved there in March, we moved again in May I think it was May. And then January 28th was our moving date. So the reason why we moved, and I'm gonna try to explain it quickly, is basically because what we really wanted to do was buy a house, because the market in Austin right now, the appreciation rates of homes are insane. And a lot of people are moving from California and more affluent places, and they're able to put down a lot of money on these homes, and homes are going really quickly. So we ideally wanted to buy a home, but when we talked to a lender and our real estate agent, we quickly realized that because I'm self-employed and you need 2 to 3 years of tax returns, or at least multiple depending on what it looks like. And also because the market right now is insane. Like it kind of changed from when we were starting to look to when we needed to make a decision. It just didn't make sense because we couldn't get approved enough just off of Brian's income to get the ideal home that we wanted in this market and in the area we wanted. So because of that, we realized that we also didn't want to stay in our apartment until March of next year when we were looking to buy. And we just felt like we needed more space and to get a little bit further out from the city, have a little bit more quiet, which is funny now because you guys are having to listen to the people doing construction outside. So essentially we just wanted to look at our options. We thought about renting a house. We thought about moving to a different apartment. We thought about staying, but we ended up finding this apartment complex and it was just such a perfect fit for us. And it's really just making our life feel so much happier. Last but not least, something fun yet again about Austin. Someone asked favorite restaurants and coffee shops. So my favorite coffee shops are for sure Greater Goods, as you guys probably know if you follow me on Instagram. I'd probably say, oh, it's so hard. I would say Flat Track Coffee and maybe Figure 8 coffee purveyors, but it's really hard. Like Merit Coffee is really good. I had Medici the other day, it's pretty good. So there's a lot. I still think we need to do that coffee tour. Let me know down below if you want to see a coffee tour of different coffee spots in Austin because I think that'd be so fun. Now in terms of restaurants, I think it so depends on my mood. But when I think about the overall vibe and the food and also the price of the food for what you're getting, Abba is one that automatically comes to mind. Such a special place, somewhere we just love to go. Loro is such a cool place with amazing food that I've always really loved and have super fond memories of. And I'd have to say number 3 is probably Bufalina Pizza. Pizza's, you know, my love language, and so their pizza is that Neapolitan pizza. It's just right, it's so good. I could go on and on forever about the list of it and all those things, but those are probably my favorites. But thank you guys so much for sticking around through this video and hanging out with me today and chatting. I really do want to know how you guys have been doing and check in. If you did like this video and want to give it a thumbs up, it would mean so much to me and really help out my channel. If you want to stick around, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I post new videos every single week and I do all different topics, and you can always let me know what you want to see too. I'm a dietitian, and so I love chatting about all things nutrition, wellness, but also recovery, just all the things even that we talked about in this chat itself. I keep chatting today. I'm in a really chatty mood, so I'm gonna go. But again, love you guys. Thank you for sticking around, and I'll talk with you soon. Bye.